Hello everybody, my name is Al from Sauber-Lab, and if you follow my channel, you already observed that I post lots of videos how to install different containers, how to use those containers, and what you can do to make your life easy with any kind of Docker application. But sometimes you have access for lots of different containers, but you don't necessarily use those. And in this video, we're going to explain a little bit more what containers or what application that I use on my daily basis and which ones that I would like to keep it in the case that my server stopped to work and then I needed to reinstall everything from zero. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're going to show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave your like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and let's understand a little bit more about it. As I told, in this video we're going to explain a little bit more about the applications or the containers that I use on my daily basis and which one that is really interesting and which one that it's good for you to have. So the first one that I will put as a number one will be Portainer. Portainer is the application that I use basically every day or every time that I'm gonna check a container, review a container, install a new container. So if you guys come here on my screen, here is Portainer. In the Portainer, I can check all my stack. So if I wanted to install a new application, a new container, the best way, use stack. In this way, I use Docker Compose, and I can make sure that all my setup, all my configurations here, and if I want to update something, I go directly my stack and update my stack, and always I have that specific information in order to review in the future. Once that my stack is set up, I can check all my containers, the life of the containers, everything in the container option, which allowed me to have a look at everything. And here is the images. So I use Watchdog, and the Watchdog upload the images so I can see how many images I have. If I have duplicate images or images that I'm not using, I can clean it. Unfortunately, I didn't set up any script to clean it, so once a month or each 2 months I go there and clean everything. If you look here, I have 55 gigabytes of data because it's a long time that I don't clean it, but will take a couple of minutes only to clean. If I didn't have Portainer, it would be a little bit more complex to do it. Also, here I can see all my volumes, all my networks. Of course, Portainer is the graphic option to have the containers, and that this makes your life much easier. The second application that I use almost every day, or literally every day, or all the time that I do any login for anything, it's Bitwarden. I don't use necessarily Bitwarden, I use VaultWarden, that it's a similar application but self-host. This application, or this Bitwarden, is password manager, and here you can make sure that all your passwords it's in one place, and because I manage my password, I avoid to have the same password for everything. So one of advanced to have this, in my case I use the VaultWarden, it's that you can generate reports, and those reports can show you what exposed passwords that you have, what reusable password that you have, what weak insecurity, and two-step logins as well. So if I come here my expose, they will give an overview for all my exposed passwords. So here they will give that this specific password that I use in this specific website has been exposed 19,000 times. So for sure I need to change it as soon as possible because potentially my data will be compromised and it's not something that will be interesting. And the same thing will happen for all my different application, different passwords. So in this way I can check which ones that it's unsecure and which ones that I needed to change and for priority. So I will start from the top to the bottom. The same thing if I have some reusable passwords. So in the past I used to have only one password for everything, complex password, but one password for everything because I used to memorize by memory. And then if one website that I make login it's a little bit dodgy or is not so correctly, they could use my password and try with different applications. Because they use in different applications, potentially my password could be compromised and that my data, my mail or my other things could be accessible with the same password. This reason most of my passwords will be different, and because they're different they are difficult to be copied by one website to another. So let's say if Google have access for my password, they cannot try it in my Hotmail, or cannot try another application because it would be totally different. If you don't use a password manager, it's really difficult to guarantee it, because unless you have a book and you write it, you're not going to memorize all your different passwords. Unless you try to put different numbers or terminations, will be really similar, and that someone can try to break it. You're not going to be able to do aleatory numbers and continue on. So first thing, password management. The second thing that I use almost every day will be my Synology drive. I use Synology drive because I have Synology NAS. If I didn't have this Synology NAS, I use a different system. Which system that I use? I used to use Nextcloud. And most of the people can install Nextcloud in any server in a Raspberry Pi and continue on, and that they will work and work really well. So Nextcloud, it's the option that allowed you to have access for your data and sync between computers. You have everything backup in your server, and you can have everything in one place. So you want to backup photos, Nextcloud can do it. You wanted to backup data, you wanted to share data, you wanted to access for your phone and that go for your laptop and access the same file. Yes, you can do everything. Have only one limitation that I didn't manage how to fix. Apart from it, everything it's in one place. The limitation is indexing. So far, if I want to use Nextcloud, I needed to use or the application. So if I come here and download, I have the test mobile, or use the web page. I cannot use my SMB for access my Nextcloud, because once that I copy data there, they will not index again. And because they will not index again, sometimes you're not going to have access to that data. This reason you need to physically use or the mobile or the desktop or the web browser. You cannot use SMB. Different for Synology drive, I can use the SMB. I can use in my network as a normal network attach, and once that I want to use external or backup, they will do exactly the same, because Synology will index all my data. So only reason that I use my Synology NAS instead of Nextcloud. But if I didn't have my Synology NAS, for sure I will use Nextcloud. I will change a little bit my flow, but it will work really well, because both Synology Drive or Nextcloud, you can have the data as per demand. So you do not need to physically download everything for your computer. It's when you open that file, they will download for a server and have a revision in your computer. After some time, they will delete it for your computer, and once that modified, they out-sync it in your computer and create different revisions for it. So in this way, if you delete something, you can always recover this file or recover this data without compromise your usability and everything. Next application or next container that I use every day will be Plex, because Plex can stream all my medias. So I wanted to watch a movie, I go in Plex. I want to watch a TV show, I go in Plex. I want that my kids become quiet for a minute, I put Plex as well. And that they like to watch it, they like to see everything. You can have live TV, you can have your media, you can have your music and everything in one place. So this make my life really easy, and everything is managed. Principally because after the last video that I explained why I return to use Plex, this application will be one of those that I needed to have in all the new setups that I'm gonna have. Other application that I use really often is Tautuli. This Tautuli is good because I would like to manage my media. I want to see how many movies I have, how many TV shows, how many music, what music that I listen more, what TV that I'm using more, and everything. So if my kids is watching TV when I'm not here, I want to know what they're watching and what time they're watching. Not that I want to control them, but I want to avoid them to watch what was not designated for kids. Look like some TV shows that I watch, and they are really small for it. So the second application is basically only monitor Plex. So I don't know if it's valid to say Plex and Tautuli, because both work together. The same thing for Oversea, the same thing for other applications. So let's say that Plex is the main, and everything that comes with the Plex will be the application that include for bad experience with Plex. And the last one that I really use every day, every time, if I come here, is Synology Photos. I'll not open Synology Photos because you guys gonna see all my pictures and I don't want to do it, but basically is the application that I use when I'm traveling. I like to take pictures, and when I like to backup my photos, because in the case that my phone stops to work or I lose it, I still have insurance, but my pictures will not be able to be recovered in the worst case. So this reason, in the end of the day, in any travel, I do backup. In the end of the day, for any place that I go, I do backup. If I want to share my pictures, I use Synology Photos. If I want to do anything, I use Synology Photos for it. It's good to remember that Synology Photos is not the only application that do these options. In one of the previous videos, I explained a bit more about Photo Prisma. As I told, if I didn't have my Synology NAS, I will use Photo Prisma without any problem and will be really happy with the experience that they will give me. Also, those applications not the only ones that I use, but the ones that I use more often. If I come here back in my container and open containers, I have around 39 containers, and all of those containers I use really often. Some of those I use more often than I expect, but it's not a direct application. Let's say my Cloudflare tunnel. I use a lot because I have access from my application outside my house, but it's not something that I will use as a direct use. I will be indirectly using this, trying to access another application. The same thing for my Watchdog. I use the Watchdog every day because I keep my containers updated, but not necessarily that I physically see that I'm using it. It's only something that works in background. The same thing that other applications, they work in background and I only see what I use more often. So this reason that I didn't comment so much about those. So in this way, we arrive at the end of the video. I hope that you guys like this video. If you like this video and think that was interesting, please don't forget to leave a like. Consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and see you next time. Bye.